Hi there, welcome to the Nog Vlog. My name is Lance and I'm going to take you on a complete ship tour of the Carnival Firenze. We're going to go top to bottom, deck by deck, and show you all the Carnival fun and Italian style that this ship has to offer. Built in 2020 under Carnival's sister cruise line Costa, this Italian crafted Vista-class ship was originally designed for Asian voyages. When those plans shifted post-pandemic, she was moved to Carnival Cruise Line in 2024, transforming her into the Carnival Firenze that you'll see here today on this ship tour. So we're going to go through all the public spaces, and technically the highest point you can go as a passenger on this ship is the top of this water slide tower, which is a full staircase up above deck 15. For those of you that are 51 inches or taller, you'll have access to the Twister and Aqua Tunnel water slides. There's a third uncovered water slide that leads from deck 15. We'll see that in just a little bit. They do have one of their freshwater showers up here. I'm not sure exactly why you would need it up here. The water slides are open, weather permitting, every day of your sailing, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. We'll go ahead and give you a view from inside the Aqua Tunnel, courtesy of yours truly. If this is your first time viewing one of our Nog Vlog ship tours, on the left-hand side of the screen, I'll have a map of whatever deck we're on, and it will rotate as we traverse the ship, and that green navigation icon will move along with us everywhere we go, allowing you, the future Carnival Firenze passenger, to have the maximum familiarity with how to navigate around this ship once you're on board. You need to be just 42 inches or taller to access the uncovered gondola glide water slide that you see across the way, but you do need to access that from the port side of the ship because this side is blocked off. These outdoor stairs will take you down to deck 14 below. This is the adults only area. It's called the Serenity Adult Only Retreat. It takes up a lot of space up here and it's pretty symmetrical, so I'll go into more detail on it in just a moment. But first, since we're on a ship, I'm going to go ahead and use some nautical terms throughout this tour, so if you're not familiar with those, I'll do a quick rundown. Anything towards the front of the ship is called forward. Anything towards the back of the ship is called aft. The right side of the ship when facing forward is the starboard side of the ship, and the left side of the ship when facing forward is the port side of the ship. So forward, aft, starboard, port. Hope you got it because there's a quiz at the end. As we peek inside, I want to point out that only 2 of the 8 elevators of the forward elevator bank head up here all the way to Serenity. So pay attention to the placards to make sure you're on the right elevators if you're trying to head up here from lower in the ship. Even though we just saw some kids scramble through, we are supposed to be 21 or up to be in this area. Another freshwater shower to rinse off. Got some conveniently located restrooms. There's a fairly large whirlpool available on either side. Access to the Serenity area begins in the mornings at 8 a.m. and it typically stays open all the way till midnight. Based off weather and other factors, it might close down just a little bit earlier up here. Fresh Creations is a salad bar that's open for lunch on sea days. There's no additional cost and the ingredients are very fresh. Be a great light alternative lunch option to some of the heavier things across the cruise ship. Spin around, you see some small tables here to enjoy your salad or maybe another meal or coffee that you brought up here. We'll navigate past these wind barriers and check out this main lounging area. Everyone say hi to my gorgeous partner in crime, who's definitely up to no good up here in Serenity. Since this is the highest we can go on the ship here in the forward part, we'll go and take a look at what that looks like, what we're sailing into here in the Pacific Ocean. As you might notice, it does get pretty windy up here on sea days, but it's relaxing nonetheless because you are away from all of the commotion and noise that can be going on in the more popular Lido pool area in the middle of the ship. It's nice to have this space to come and get away from all of that. And it's especially nice when there's a convenient bar right in a central location. You can visit the Serenity Spritz bar for a refreshing cocktail, maybe something light and bubbly to go with your salad, or get something strong and make it a double because why not? You're on a cruise. You don't have to come all the way up to the bar. The Serenity area does have dedicated servers that will walk around and bring you your drinks wherever you're lounging. We'll take a peek here at the port side whirlpool. This door leads back to inside, but it was closed off, probably due to the wind. They didn't want to create a huge suction zone through there. And over here we have a few more cozy spots, including some cute little swings. If I recall, we came back up here another time and tried out those swings and they were not comfy at all. So get your selfie, get your Instagram photo, your TikTok, whatever you need, whatever the kids are using these days, and then go find a much more comfy spot. Now we got a closer view to the entrance for the gondola glide water slide. You can only access it from here on the port side. But as far as deck 15 is concerned, that is it. Even though it looks like if you look straight back, there might be something that's at this same level, but it's all technically part of deck 14, which is the next deck that we're going to go to. So we're going to go down a level and we're going to jump over to the starboard side of the ship to start our tour of deck 14. Stairs down to the waterworks area below, stairs back up to Serenity where we first started. And just here in the center is a nice, calm, quiet area, just a few loungers, one clamshell. Maybe not the greatest view with the slides in front of you, but you still get to enjoy that fresh open air and you're blocked off from the wind. Heading inside, we'll walk through these mainly balcony cabins, and the reason I'm showing you this is because the map makes it appear as if there is a secret deck at the front of all of these staterooms. A secret deck is just crew's term for an open area at the front of the ship that a lot of people don't know about. Even though the map makes it look like it here, there is not access to one, it's just a crew area. We'll actually see our first true secret deck on deck 11 below. Just one small section left of deck 14. It's going to be in the midship area. A pair of stairs on either side will take you up from deck 12 to this outdoor space. You'll see some holes for the mini golf course that actually starts down below. But the main thing you'll access up here is the ropes course. So this is open on sea days and port days, pending the weather. You can see it's really windy today, but it was still open. So props to all these kids and grown-ups being daring enough to take on the ropes course challenge. You do have to be 48 inches tall. You have to be under 300 pounds. You do have to wear closed-toed shoes, and you can't go just wearing a swimsuit. You do need a shirt with sleeves. Around the corner, you'll see some tables, chairs, and benches in case you want to watch some of your cruise mates take on that ropes course or challenge one of your cruise mates to a game of giant chess. When you're navigating that ropes course on the backside, be on the lookout for one of the pixel photographers waiting to snap a picture of you in action on that ropes course. I do want to point out there is ADA access to this area through a stair lift here on the starboard side. So that's it for deck 14. We're going to go back to the front of the ship, and we're going to start at the front elevator bank and stairwells. To make it easy as we navigate this ship, every time we start a new deck, we'll always start in the forward elevator bank and stairwell. If we head further forward here on deck 12, we'll enter the Cloud9 Spa and Fitness Center areas. Now the Cloud9 Spa is going to be open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And of course, you have the ability to book spa services on the ship as well as pre-cruise on Carnival.com. We'll bypass the spa reservation desk and talk more about the spa features on the way out. And here we'll pass the men and women's locker room, each of which has access to a complimentary sauna. We'll head all the way into the fitness center, which on most days will be open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. It's fully equipped with tons of cardio equipment, plenty of weight machines, and a free weight area. They also offer scheduled fitness classes for an additional cost. They do have free fitness, wellness, and beauty seminars available, but be prepared for a push of products and an upsell of other services from the fitness center and the spa. So what can you get at the spa? Well, you can get those classic European style treatments and services like massages, facials, wraps, acupuncture, and other therapeutic treatments. But what they don't have on the Firenze is a thermal suite. So if you're a fan of the Laconium, Tepidarium, or the Spa Whirlpool that is common to other Carnival ships, you unfortunately won't find those here on the Firenze. Here across from the reservation desk, they have the relaxation room where you can check in and wait for your spa treatment to begin. Now, the one thing you might be asking is, Lance, what about hair and nail treatments? Well, the beauty salon is actually located down on deck 5. It's not here on deck 12, so we'll see that in just a bit. Heading aft from those forward elevators, you'll see a pair of doors taking you either side of the waterworks. This door will take you into staterooms if you have them booked here on the forward part of deck 12, right next to a single occupancy restroom, and there's one of those on either side of the ship here. From here on out, the rest of deck 12 is pretty symmetrical, so we won't go further aft on this side of the ship. Spinning around, you'll see all the fun gadgets and gizmos for the little kids here at Carnival Waterworks. This is also where the exit will be for all 3 of the water slides. Definitely will not have a problem finding a lounger if you're hanging out here on deck 12. Get a glimpse of a few more of the water toys here for Carnival Waterworks. You can see all the stairs that take you back up to deck 14 and 15 to the entrance to the water slides or up to the Serenity adult only retreat. Because this ship under Costa sailed much cooler European itineraries, it did come equipped with a retractable roof for the Lido area. You see here on this sea day it was covered, but other port days they left it open. There was definitely times on our cruise when it was stuffy and we felt like it should have been open. I'm not sure what factors and logistics go into making the decision to keep it open or closed, so just be prepared. There might be times on your cruise where you want it one way or the other and it's not going to be that way. So these were the stairs that we crept up to get to the middle holes of the mini golf as well as the entrance to the ropes course. You may have noticed the striping that has started here on the middle part of deck 12. It's going to be indicating your jogging track, which you can see 4 laps give you a full mile. So if you need to get some extra steps in and the gym isn't open and you want to enjoy that fresh air, the jogging track is going to be a great alternative for you. So this whole section where the mini golf course starts is called the Sports Square. And right above this spot, someone literally throwing caution to the wind up on that ropes course. Also in this section, you can see they have a pair of cornhole boards. Just like above, there's some tables and chairs down here if you want to enjoy some coffee or for breakfast while your kids or cruise mates play. We'll talk more about this area once we loop around to the other side. And while we have a second, if you've made it this far in this video, I would think that means you're finding some value out of it. If so, do us a favor, hit that like button and let YouTube know that this is the best ship tour of the Carnival Firenze. We appreciate your support. Staying further aft on the jogging track, the next thing we'll encounter is a view down to the sports court. So it's technically on the deck below, so we won't talk about that just yet. As we reach the very back of deck 12, you'll find 2 neat little hangout sections back here that are actually lit at night. You'll find some foosball available. Definitely a great spot if you've got a large group and want to have your own spot away from all the action elsewhere on the ship. And that brings us to the very back of deck 12, and we'll get a preview down below to the very aft of deck 11 and deck 10 below. Definitely a popular spot for lounging in the sun. We'll hustle all the way back to midship in the sports square. At this point, you might have asked, why is there no red and blue whale-tail shaped funnel so familiar from other Carnival ships? Well, when they moved this ship over from its Italian sister company, they made the decision to keep the original smokestack from the Costa Firenze in its transition over to the Carnival Firenze. So if you do plan to play mini golf, you can grab a club, grab a ball, and just go ahead and play away. And the last space we're going to check out is called the Warehouse. Similar to other Carnival Cruise Line ships, the Warehouse Arcade is going to be open 24 hours and there to entertain kids and grown-ups alike. As much as it hurts my wallet, I definitely enjoy my fair share of claw machines. While the arcade's not too big, there's definitely a good selection to choose from for this size of ship. They've got a good mix of one-and-done games as well as games that allow you to collect tickets. You can take those tickets, convert them to points on your Sail and Sign card, and then you can use those points to redeem prizes. Don't forget, if you didn't bring any of your own ducks to hide and want to hide some, you can get some here. And you can exit out the Warehouse Arcade through this door. These stairs will take you actually down to the midship level of deck 11, which is conveniently located right at the entrance of Camp Ocean. We'll see that in just a little bit. But let's head down to deck 11, back to that forward elevator bank and stairwells. And this time we'll actually head to the forward part of the ship and see our first secret deck. Taking you there actually passes our cabin from this sailing. What better door decor can you have for a May the 4th and Cinco de Mayo sailing on an Italian ship? So the doors that exit out on this particular secret deck limits you to just that side of the ship that you exited on. You can see here what I mean. This middle section of this space is blocked off with some equipment storage and crew only area, but nevertheless, you still have access to enjoy this space. And for people like us with an interior cabin, you can kind of treat this as your own forward-facing, near-private balcony. And one evening, we even caught some whale spouts off in the distance as we enjoyed the sunset. So we'll go back to where we first started, right near those forward elevator bank and stairwells. And the only way to get out to the main public area of deck 11 is to take either of the two stateroom hallways. So we'll do that here. When you come out, you see a lot of open space. Deck 11 sits just above the more populated Lido deck down below on 10. But there's some great little features up here that we'll show you. Right here in the center, you can see there's a foosball table. Let's take a peek down to deck 10 in that pool area. Definitely different than past Carnival ships that you might be used to. You can see up here on 11, there's 4 balconies that overhang and overlook the pool and the stage and deck party area below. Above all of this is that retractable roof. You can see that is still closed here on this sea day, but that's keeping things calm and still here inside, but also a little stuffy. So just keep that in mind. If you want to head down to deck 10, you can take these stairs here or on the other side. We'll loop around the pool area here on deck 11. First encountering a ping pong table in case you want to play some table tennis. And as we traverse through here, you'll see all these cute little seating areas. If you do find it getting stuffy and you're up here, if you are up against these windows here, you can actually prop them open a little bit, let some fresh air in. These seats up here on 11 offer something just a little bit different than maybe what we're used to. Maybe not necessarily more private, but a little bit more cozy. So some great theming here. And then we're going to encounter one of our first restaurants for this sailing. And that's going to be Il Mercato. It's going to be your Italian eatery. It is all included in your cruise fare. And it's going to feature sandwiches, sausages, hot dogs, meatballs, plus a variety of salads and slaws to accompany those dishes. If you're looking for a comparison to a standard Carnival ship, Carnival Deli is what this best would compare to. And Il Mercato is open for lunch and dinner all the way up till 10 p.m. on every day of your cruise. And we couldn't see earlier, but you can see the Carnival Seaside Theater is available in this space. In addition to showcasing some of the cruise happenings going on around the ship, they'll also in the evenings have dine-in movies, where if you're so inclined, you can catch a flick from the comfort of your lounger or even from the pool. These doors to the left will take you further aft on the ship. We're actually going to go through those in just a little bit. So past the midship elevators and stairwell, past the stairs that take you up to the Warehouse Arcade. We saw that just a little bit earlier. We'll enter Camp Ocean. Camp Ocean is going to be the kids' camp designated for kids as young as newborn all the way up to age 11. If parents want to have some time to themselves, you can drop your kid off here throughout the day and in the evenings. The dedicated Camp Ocean staff will supervise and entertain your kiddos with games, arts and crafts, and activities, some of which are even Italian themed. You can see they do have some outdoor areas. They used to be something that they had on quite a few Carnival ships, but started getting rid of. So it's a plus that they've kept that here so far on the Firenze. Be sure to always visit Camp Ocean on embarkation day, even if you've registered your kid during the normal pre-cruise check-in process at carnival.com. It's great for the kids to meet some of the counselors, see the place that they're going to be hanging out throughout the cruise, and get them excited about attending the program. They do split them off into individual groups. That youngest group is going to be called the Turtles. Those little turtles are for newborns and 1-year-olds. Kids aged 2 to 5 will be part of the Penguins group. Ages 6 through 8 will be in the Stingrays group, and ages 9 to 11 will be in the Sharks. If you have any kids ages 12 and older, there are 2 other kids clubs that are located on this ship. Obviously, the programming will fit those kids' age groups, and those are more check-in, check-out on your own type locations. But we'll see those in a little bit down on deck 3. The last thing we'll tour here is Dr. Seuss Bookville. Technically not inside Camp Ocean, so you don't have to check your kid in or out. Grown-ups can go in here as well. This is going to be basically a Dr. Seuss exclusive library. It has tons of copies of all the classic Dr. Seuss books, plus some unique ones that you may have not read before. While it's not a full library, it could be an enjoyable place to stop by when you're picking up or dropping off for Camp Ocean. Back outside, we'll finish off this midship area of deck 11. Each of these pathways leads to some stairs down to deck 10 below on the pool side of the Lido deck. Through those doors is actually where we'll finish the tour in just a moment. Let's scoot around and find our next venue, the Pergola Bar. Nothing fancy about this spot, it's just a convenient place to be able to get a drink if you're hanging out here up on deck 11. There are a few drinks exclusive to the Pergola Bar, but otherwise you can get most of their standard cocktails, beer, wine, and non-alcoholic drinks as well. As we continue on, back in this corner, you can see they actually have a shelf for games and books. So if you want to take one of those cozy spots, pull out a board game and have some fun time with your family or friends, you're welcome to do so. Again, not an official library per se, but a lot of times people will borrow a book, leave a book kind of thing. Of course, they ask if you do borrow one, please return it. One more ping pong table, and that will lead us right back to pretty much where we started. This door will take us to those port side cabins of deck 11 forward. So let's actually go back to midship, and we're going to start right out of that exit of Camp Ocean. We'll pass the complimentary drink station serving water, tea, lemonade, juices in the morning, coffee all day. Through these doors, we'll actually shift to the aft part of deck 11. You'll find some restrooms out here, tons of lounge chairs. We'll pass that outdoor playground. Through the wind barrier, we'll actually encounter one of the designated smoking areas on the ship. So if you're taking notes, that's going to be deck 11, starboard side towards the aft of the ship. Note, this is the only location on the ship where you can smoke a cigar or tobacco pipe. You can also smoke in the casino, and then there's one more outdoor spot on deck 5 that we'll see in just a little bit. We saw this from up above on deck 12. This here is the sports court. So they'll have some scheduled activities going on here, but otherwise it's open play. They do have lights so you can play into the evenings, but it is multi-purpose. So in addition to basketball, they can set it up for soccer, pickleball, volleyball, and even dodgeball. We'll continue further aft. We'll pass the stairs that take you up to deck 12. We'll pass some cozy clamshells here in the shade. See, the more popular loungers are back here. They do have some umbrellas they can open up for shade on port days, but it's just a little too windy here on a sea day. Several times that we traversed back through here, they had a DJ playing, which is always nice in case whatever's going on the Lido deck is not to your liking. You can come back here, grab a tropical drink, listen to some island tunes, and enjoy that beautiful wake view. Take a peek at just a few more of the seating options around the sports court, whether you're waiting for your next turn on the court or just watching your cruise mates play. We'll navigate back around the other outdoor play area from Camp Ocean. Similar to the other side, there's some restrooms available over here. We'll reach those doors that I pointed out just a little bit earlier. But with that, we are done with deck 11. So you know the drill by now. We'll head down to deck 10. We'll head back to the forward elevator bank and stairwells. Now, most often, if you're in this spot on the ship, you're going to be heading out those doors out to the Lido to enjoy all the fun. But this ship tour covers all the public areas, and once again, we've got a secret deck in the front of the ship here on deck 10 that we got to show you. And this one's going to be our first full, true secret deck where you can walk from one side to the other. So you got a nice unobstructed view out here. Welcome to Ensenada, Mexico. One thing you'll notice on all these secret decks is they have these stored loungers. I don't think I've ever seen them out in these areas. There's a couple of benches if you do need to sit down, but otherwise, most people just stand at the rail. There are stairs down to some of the secret decks below. You'll see that's going to be a reoccurring theme for the next few secret decks that we do check out here up front in the ship. You can see up where we were just a little bit earlier. For any of the secret decks, if you ever see these windows, it is a forward-facing stateroom. While you might use the reflection to check how the wind has messed up your hair, just remember there might be someone on the other side enjoying that same view. We'll peek over the starboard side, see the harbor here in Ensenada, and we'll go back inside and head all the way back out to where the fun begins here on the Lido deck. We'll actually use the center passage since that's going to be the most common for people getting off the elevators here on the Lido deck. A lot of times on embarkation day or even sea days, they'll have some booths set up along this corridor. Sometimes it'll be either the spa or fitness center staff with a kiosk, and some of the Carnival fun shops will have some kiosks out here as well. Right through the doors, you'll see they have a monitor for the map so you can see where you are, get the time of day, how fast we're going, what the weather's like, all that helpful information. We'll veer to the left and you'll see the towel station. If you don't bring out to the pool your beach towel that's provided to you in your cabin, you can just borrow one here. Just make sure you do return that towel so you don't get charged for it. You can see all the loungers out here now, still able to get those rays coming in through that closed roof. They'll of course clear out all these loungers, open up the dance floor for the fun deck parties, including your sail away party, your 80s rock and glow, and keeping up with the Italian themes, Festa Italiana, which is rotating entertainment, music, passenger games. Again, check your Carnival Hub app daily planner to see what they've got planned out here on the Lido on your cruise. Next up was probably a very subtle change, but one of my favorites of this ship compared to Carnival ships in the past, and that's moving the Java Blue Cafe up here to the Lido deck. Now, if you have a room down closer to decks 3 or 5, you can still get specialty coffees at the Tuscan Bar or the Atrium Bar, so keep that in mind. But up here at the Java Blue Cafe, in addition to those specialty coffees, you can get cakes, cookies, cupcakes, pastries, and once again, with an Italian ship, you gotta have gelato. All for just a small additional price, but well worth it. Next, we'll get you as close as we can to the pool without having to jump in ourselves. Adorned with a gorgeous fountain, although I don't think I ever saw it working, but that's no deal breaker. You can see this pool does have 2 sets of full steps into the pool, not just the ladder. I know that's always a plus for a few folks. Next up, we have another Carnival staple with an Italian twist to it. This is going to be Guy Fieri's burger joint. So out with the red and yellow color scheme and in with the blue, but you won't be singing the blues for these burgers. They're just as good as always. They've got some of your classic favorites, plus 2 new ones. That's the super melty moots, as well as the pepperoni pizza burger. Pro tip, if your kid doesn't like burgers but loves mozzarella sticks, you can ask to have just those, and they make some monster ones here at Guy's Burger. Whatever you do decide, you can make it your way with the toppings bar, chili, bacon, thin fries, all the veggies, and all the sauces to make that burger just the way you want it. While it's nearby, I'll go ahead and give you a close-up view of the windows here on the Lido deck. We got a glance of that up above on deck 11. And if it's stuffy in here, feel free to open those up and let some fresh air in. Pointed out earlier, those stairs that get you down into the pool. And through these doors is that midship elevator bank and the midship stairwell. One confusing thing I want to point out, next to each of these stairs up to deck 11 is a large Il Mercato sign with an arrow pointing up, trying to get you to know that that restaurant's up there. The arrow's really hard to see. It almost comes off as if the restaurant's right under that on 10. Be a little bit confusing for folks that don't know their way around. You're here taking in this great ship tour. You're going to know exactly where to go when you board the Firenze. Next up is the Rococo Bar. Now this fun and cheeky establishment will leave you with a smile on your face as you view all their playful additions to the serious elegant art on the walls. I won't spoil all the art on the walls, but definitely take a look at each one when you're in here because they'll lend you a laugh. Of course, you can get some great specialty cocktails and frozen drinks, in particular layered frozen drinks, many with an Italian twist. Next up is going to be Tomodoro. This is a Mexican-Italian fusion restaurant most closely related to Blue Iguana Cantina on other Carnival ships. In this included restaurant, you can expect some new Italian dishes alongside those classic tacos and burritos. And it of course comes with its own toppings, salsa, and hot sauce bar. Tomodoro is open every day of your cruise for breakfast and lunch. You can grab early dinner at both Guy's Burger Joint and Tomodoro, just know it usually closes at 6 p.m. Also to note, on either side of these 2 poolside restaurants, there is a included drink station. Next, we're going to enter the Lido Marketplace. This is the buffet, everyone's favorite or least favorite place to eat on a cruise. Right when you enter, you've got the swirl station. This is going to have 2 machines, one for frozen yogurt and one for soft serve ice cream. You'll find another larger drink station available over here. And these are open 24 hours. If you need water or coffee, any time of day or night, you can come here and get that. Through this corridor here is just a quick way back to those midship elevators and stairs. We'll spin around and take a look at a little bit of the buffet. I believe at time of filming we were right after breakfast but before lunch, so that's why it's fairly empty in here. I have things closed down getting ready for a C-Day lunch rush here coming in a little bit. I'll toss on the screen the menu and plate shots from our night where we did eat in the buffet. We don't usually use the buffet a whole lot outside of breakfast. Overall, it was nothing to complain about. We will have a everything we ate on the Carnival Firenze video, so if you're a foodie and you want our in-depth review of all the food that we ate on this ship, be sure to check out that video in our Carnival Firenze playlist. You can see more buffet serving space here in the back for when they are at full capacity. You can swipe your car and pour your own sodas or beer with these stations here in the back. This next little station here is where they normally house all of the desserts and sweets. We're definitely guilty of taking advantage of that, even if we're not eating in the buffet. This spot here will usually be a carving station for lunch and dinner, but you can also order for a small fee hot wings if you happen to have that craving. The rest of the seating for the buffet space is pretty uniform and symmetrical. There's a hand washing station close to every entrance and exit, which is nice. Here in the center exit, you can access the midship elevators and stairs. Right around this corner and through this hallway will be some restrooms you can have access to, both from inside the buffet as well as if you're in the aft area of the pool. And that's where we're going to head next. We're going to go out the starboard doors here. So a few more things to show you here on the aft part of deck 10. The next venue we'll encounter here, it says Seafood Shack on the deck plan, but it's really a jack of all trades. For lunch, it's the Chicken Shack, which is essentially an unbranded version of Shack's Big Chicken if you've ever dined on that on the Carnival Radiance or any of the Excel class ships. And during breakfast hours, you can get omelets, eggs, other breakfast dishes, chicken as well. And in the evenings, it converts to the more familiar Seafood Shack with steamed and fried New England style seafood fare. Those breakfast and lunch menus are fully included. The Seafood Shack options are an additional cost. Take a quick peek at the stairs that will take you up to deck 11. But then we'll maneuver on through these loungers and take a look at the centerpiece of this aft section here on deck 10, and that's the Versailles pool. On either side, you'll find a whirlpool. This pool is typically open from 8 a.m. all the way until midnight, so it is open late. And just so you know, all the pools and whirlpools on any cruise ship are going to be filled with salt water. They do have all throughout these upper decks freshwater showers in case you just want to rinse that salt water off your body. A tradition of these videos for this part of the ship tour is to peek over the very back of the ship, check out that beautiful wake view. Sadly, no wake view today since we're docked here in Ensenada, but what you can see is a preview down to the Terrazza Moda outdoor deck area. That'll be coming up when we visit the aft of deck 5. Another thing we can do back here is say hi to the Carnival Miracle, which we just sailed on, and we'll have another great tour for that ship coming soon to our channel. Let's head around the pool and check out the Versailles pool bar. No nonsense here, lots of seats available as well. Our last venue here on deck 10 is Pizzeria de Capitano. Included in your cruise fare, you'll be able to get hand-tossed, authentic Italian-style thin crust pizza pies, get a bite of slice, get a whole pizza, get 2 pizzas if you want. You've already paid for it. With that, we are done with deck 10. We're going to head down to deck. We'll head back to the front of the ship and start on deck 9. Now, decks 9, 8, 7, and 6 are all staterooms only. There's no true public areas, but there are a few secret decks, so we're going to take a look at each one of those real quick. Now, I'm showing you me walking down the hallway because I got fooled by the deck plan, thinking there was going to be a door at the very front of the starboard side, but there actually was not. So just know for this forward space here on deck 9, the port side has the only door to let you out for that secret deck. The other unique thing about this deck is the fact that it is sitting on top of the bridge. Because that bridge has to overhang over the side of the ship for navigational purposes, that means this secret deck sitting on top of that does as well. So this gives you definitely one of the more unique views anywhere on the ship. But that also is a negative if you've got the balconies for 9206 or 9205. Anybody here will be able to look directly into your balcony. Now, while the frequency of people being out in this space is not all that high, things won't be quite as private as maybe you anticipated if that was not known at the time of your booking. We saw these stairs a little bit earlier on the deck above. That whirlpool that you see down at the very bottom there, that's going to be the crew relaxation area. We'll see it a few more times each time we visit these secret decks as we get lower on the ship. The rest of this forward part of deck 9 is symmetrical, so we'll call that a wrap for deck 9. I mentioned we were just above the bridge, so there is no public space on deck 8. So the next spot we're going to visit is deck 7. We'll show you that walk from that forward elevator bank here to the secret deck, and now you can see what it's like below that bridge. Deck is back to the normal width and the overhang is now above us. You can see some safety equipment here as well. But from here on out, we actually have stairs that take you to each of the subsequent lower decks. 7 down to 6, and then there's even one that takes you 6 down to 5. Behind us, you can see more of those forward-facing cabins. Those are technically interior cabins. If you're ever searching for those when booking on Carnival.com, they're not considered an ocean view stateroom. They're not considered a balcony cabin. You'll find them under the interior category. If you wanted to head back in towards the staterooms, you can do so through that door on the starboard side, peek up at the bridge, and give a little wave to the captain. Instead of going back to the forward elevators of 6, we can just take these stairs down and take a quick gander at the secret deck here on deck 6. Ooh, look, a bird. Right now, there shouldn't be anything more surprising here for this secret deck on 6, so we'll go through it pretty quickly. There are some stairs that will take you down to 5. However, I don't want to spoil this section because technically we can access it from another route that would likely be more common, and I want to show you what that is. So that means we're going to head back inside, head down a deck, and start our tour of deck 5, the largest deck on the ship, at those forward elevators and stairs. We'll begin deck 5 tour by heading forward on the ship. We'll take a look at the upper level of the Teatro Rosso, which you could probably guess translates to the Red Theater. I alluded to earlier, there's an outdoor promenade known as the Lanai that wraps around deck 5. You can use those doors to get out there. We'll traverse that towards the end of touring deck 5. As you can see as we enter here, the beauty of this theater is just exquisite. There's some stairs that take you down to 4 in case you don't find the spot you like up here on 5 and vice versa. This 2-story theater will serve a multitude of purposes. We'll go into more detail on the activities that take place in here when we're on the main level on the deck 4 tour. And if you really want to take in what's taking place on the stage, outside of the few seats like these right up against the glass, the upper level is probably not the best spot for you. But there are some unique seating arrangements up here on the upper level that fit a larger group. Just know you're not going to have the greatest view of the performances on the stage. We'll exit the theater, start heading aft, and we'll enter the Shops della Piazza, also known as the Fun Shops. We'll briefly peek inside each of these, the first of which here is the back end of Hipfish Apparel and Accessories. Leave something at home? Not happy with the fit that you packed? This is going to be the place where you can find that garb or accessory that you just might need for a day in port or a night on the ship. All these shops surround this atrium. We'll make a full loop around, give you a quick look at each of the shops, and of course we'll stop and take a look at the atrium in just a moment. Next up is Hipfish Beauty. This is where you're going to find all your cosmetics and fragrances. Now if you remember back up to the spa tour up on deck 12, there was not a salon to be found up there. It's because it's located here on deck 5 amongst all of the fun shops. But outside the location, it's really no different than any other salon experience on a Carnival ship. Pre-cruise or on board, visit the salon if you want to book yourself a hair or mani-pedi treatment. We'll turn around and take a peek over the railing down a few stories to the atrium lobby down below. Officially known as the Piazza del Duomo. We'll dive deeper into all the happenings for this area when we cover it on deck 3 below. Pivoting around, you'll see an ATM as well as a self-service kiosk for your Sail and Sign account. We'll head back out this way once we're done with the atrium. The next shop is going to be the FE Jewelry Store, and its open flow design flows right into the next store, Front Street Watches. We'll spin back around, you'll see the glass staircase that will take you down to decks 4 and all the way down to 3 below. Just below us here, you'll see a platform exclusive for the musicians that will perform for the atrium audience here in the evenings of your cruise. Some great theming along this area, and don't forget they actually do have Italian specific photo opportunities as part of their Pixel program. You can expect for those Italian photo opportunities to be out on Venetian Mask Night, which should coincide with the captain's welcome toast of the first elegant night of your cruise. At the time of filming, all these shops were closed because we were in port, but they'll all open back up when you're out at sea because that allows them to sell nearly all of their products tax and duty free. So now we'll go through one by one each of the midship venues. First is Piano Bar 88. In the evenings, a dedicated entertainer will charm patrons with all of their favorites, commonly taking requests for tips, as well as sprinkling in those classic sing-along songs for everyone to join in on. Both times that we visited the piano bar, most people were just having their own conversations. Wasn't really one of those more intimate, drawn-in experiences with the piano entertainer, and that's fine, it doesn't have to be. Even on this clip, I couldn't even play you the music that he was playing because it was so noisy. One positive is they always have really great drinks at this bar, so even if the piano bar experience is not for you, don't be afraid to pop in, grab a drink, and pop out. If you're overloaded from the Italian themes across the ship, take a break and head to the far east here at Bonsai Teppanyaki, where the chefs will prepare most of your meal right there in front of you. Here at this additional cost restaurant, they're open for lunch on sea days, and then they have 3 seatings in the evening. But with just 4 stations and 10 seats apiece, space is limited. You can make dining reservations here prior to your cruise. That's probably recommended since space is limited, but you can always check for onboard reservations or even walk-in availability on your cruise. Here in the midship of deck 5, I'll give you a peek down to the casino on deck 4 below. It's convenient that they do have that glassed off to keep any potential cigarette smoke drifting up into this space here on deck 5 above. Next up, we'll encounter Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. This is the signature steakhouse found on many Carnival ships, where for an additional cost, you can book a table and enjoy a premium cut of beef cooked to your liking, or if you prefer, choose a seafood or poultry entree. Your meal will include bread, an appetizer, salad and soup option, that headlining entree, of course, and a small selection of desserts. They have an award-winning wine list and drink menu. However, there is not a sit-down bar at this particular steakhouse, so keep that in mind. Similar to Banzai Teppanyaki, pre-cruise reservations are probably recommended. Otherwise, you can check your hub app for reservations or visit the hostess when you're on board. Down that hallway, you'll see the midship elevators and stairs. But before we go further aft, let's hit up one more dining venue, and this is going to be another familiar Carnival restaurant and one of my absolute favorites on any ship, Banzai Sushi. While this full-service sushi restaurant is an additional cost, it does not require reservations. That's also not just a dinner establishment. They do open for lunch on sea days. But another thing I love about them is they are usually open late in the evenings, all the way till midnight sometimes. Both Banzai Sushi and Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse also have the option for outdoor seating out on the lanai. We get to see those seating options when we do the outside walk around. Next up is the Amari Bar. Fans and devoutes of the Alchemy Bar on other Carnival ships need not worry. Here on the Firenze, Amari will provide that same elevated mixology experience. So this menu is heavily steeped in a variety of Italian liqueurs and bitters. The menu also includes a lot of Alchemy Bar classics. Just to our left, we'll see a set of doors that take you out to that lanai. We have a little bit more to tour here on the backside of Deck 5 before we can head out and finish on the lanai. Around the corner here is just one more additional fun shop, just to spread your shopping experience around. It's going to be Hip Fish Accessories. Looks like it's specializing in bags, backpacks, a couple caps and watches here as well. Right behind that, you'll see a hallway that takes you back to those midship elevators and stairs. Just before that, there's a set of restrooms down this hallway. Now, Firenze is named after Florence, Italy, but this mural here celebrates the inviting and serene Tuscany countryside. Our next venue we're going to encounter is another Italian-themed bar, Frizzante, and the space adjacent to it includes tons of lounge seats. Now, Frizzante specializes in bubbly drinks like Prosecco, Spritzes, Bellinis. They also serve Italian beer. And if you recall, since Java Blue is up on Deck 10, down here on 5, you can get your Java fix at Frizzante, including Italian coffees and even biscotti. Nestled just behind Frizzante is another specialty restaurant, Il Viaggio. This Italian specialty restaurant breaks down each menu item by the region it comes from. We ate here on our first night of the cruise, and we were absolutely blown away by the taste and presentation of everything we got, of every serving, appetizers, entree, and the massive sized desserts. Heading back outside and further aft on Deck 5, we encounter yet one more fun shop. This time it's Hip Fish Sunglasses. And just beyond that, we'll enter the Pixels Photo Gallery. All the galleries here are completely digital. You can access a terminal or one of the columns that are touch screen, enter your folio number, allowing you to preview and pick through all the photo ops that you took advantage of throughout your sailing. We mentioned Tuscany earlier. Next up is a large space known as the Tuscan Lounge. It starts off conveniently with a small bar here in the corner. And as you enter the space, you can see it's flanked here on the backside by this huge floor-to-ceiling LCD display, which will change based off the activity going on, while also promoting other things across the ship. You see the small stage for the live band and other musical entertainers that will perform in the evenings in this space. Otherwise, during the day, it's used for more laid-back activities like trivia and games. And hidden way in the back of the Tuscan Lounge is going to be the empanada and pie stand. At least on our sailing, we didn't find this on our hub app food options. So unless that's changed, if you don't visit the Tuscan Lounge, you'll never know it's here. So in the evenings, if you're down here on 5 and hungry for a small snack for a relatively small price, you can swing by here and get a fresh-made meat, veggie, or even dessert empanada. Celebrating the Italian wine heritage, this poetic text translates to, "Peace has nourished the vines and the juices of the grapes so that the Father's cask might pour forth wine for the Son." As we exit the Tuscan Lounge, I did want to point out this beautiful mural on the top of the ceiling here. It was easily noticeable when we first walked under it. However, what we didn't notice until late in our cruise, these glowing birds that were scattered amongst the ceiling. I always appreciate those little touches when it comes to decor. Note this bar here at the Tuscan Lounge is also another place where you can get coffee and espresso. We'll continue to head further aft And there's actually staterooms here in the aft of Deck 5. They're going to be the Terrazza's staterooms. For a little extra price, you can book one of these cabins and have some exclusive benefits. We'll talk more about the perks of those in just a bit, but let's first enter Moda, which translates in Italian to fashion. And no matter what you're wearing that night of the cruise, as you enter this space, there's a swanky selfie sofa waiting for you. Find the one that matches your outfit or hit them all up. My daughter and wife alike had a blast playing supermodel, pretend posing in each of these spots for photo ops. Of course, that style doesn't end here as you actually enter the Moda bar and lounge. In the mornings, this space is exclusive for guests occupying those Terrazza staterooms, but in the afternoon and evening, it's open to all guests. You can see they have live music here in the evenings. Usually it was always a Latin vibe back here, but the bar itself is actually half inside, half outside. And for all the new bars across this ship, this menu definitely had the most interesting and intriguing drinks. If you're like me and like to experiment with new drinks on a cruise, especially if you've got that drink package, definitely run through the list of drinks here at Moda or ask the bartender to make you something on the fly. Let's head outside and check out that Terrazza Moda terraced deck. You can see the outside part of Moda bar. In the mornings and in the afternoons, this space is exclusive for Terrazza stateroom guests. But in the evenings after 7 p.m., anybody can come out here to access this spot. There's definitely some chic and comfortable spots out here. Another benefit is in the mornings, there is a continental breakfast out here, so you don't have to go all the way up to deck 10 and eat with all the rest of the passengers. You can simply stay down here and munch and mingle with the rest of the Terrazza guests. There is a whirlpool located here on either side. The cabins that face the outside here on Deck 5 are considered balconies, but really more like patio cabanas, because other Terrazza stateroom guests can actually walk in between you and the edge of the ship, but you have an exit out to that space yourself. We'll take a look at more of the seating here on the very edge of the ship. One more thing to note for Terrazza staterooms, everyone in your cabin has to be 12 or older. And the purpose of that age restriction is to allow this space to maintain a more relaxed and intimate atmosphere. There are some rear-facing balcony cabins on Deck 2. Keep in mind if you book those, you're not going to look straight down into the water. You can see the ship juts out pretty far, so while you can enjoy looking straight back behind the ship, you can't look straight down. This Terrazza Moda outdoor area is pretty symmetrical, so we won't go take a look at the port side. Now it's finally time to traverse that lanai that wraps around the ship. So let's start back up at the Tuscan Lounge in one of those rotating door exits. From here, we'll turn right or aft towards the back of the ship. Immediately to our right is a bar. It's really an extension of that inside bar from the Tuscan Lounge. It's part of the design of this ship and most Vista class ships, but I don't think these are ever really in service. I don't think there's enough traffic out here for these to ever really be in service. Further aft, we'll peek over and you'll see that other side of that walkway that connects all those Terrazza cabanas on this starboard side of the ship. So with that wristband that you get as part of your stateroom, you can buzz yourself in and out through this door and access the main passenger area, which as we keep going forward, the next thing we'll encounter is La Strada Grill. La Strada Grill is typically only open on sea days. This is an included restaurant serving Italian sandwiches, barbecue, salads, and sides. Some of the items on the menu are static each day, but some of the other items do change. In your Hub app in the food section, you can click on the menu for that day for La Strada Grill and find out what exactly is being offered. So if you just grabbed a fresh dish from La Strada Grill or just want to enjoy the fresh air, you can sit at one of these tables here outside, maybe even bring your drink from Frizzante out here to enjoy. As we keep heading forward on the ship, we'll encounter the Bonsai Sushi outdoor seating area. Simply ask the host or hostess if they're offering seating outside, and you can enjoy that fresh ocean air while you enjoy a fresh bonsai lunch or dinner. We'll continue speeding along forward here, and we'll slow down and stop here because this is going to be that other designated outdoor smoking area on the ship. So we saw that first one up on Deck 11, starboard side in the aft. And just remember, no cigars or pipes down here. Those are restricted just up on Deck 11. Keep in mind, if you're in your home port or any other port where there's any refueling operations going on, there's no smoking allowed anywhere on the ship. The last place you can smoke is inside, and that's going to be in the casino. And we'll see that down on Deck 4 in just a moment. Take a peek over the edge just so you can see a little bit of the Pacific Ocean here on this beautiful sea day. Just below this deck is crew only area. It's actually where all the lifeboats are. These stairs would take you down there normally, but blocked off. And that's a good thing because if you're on a cruise, hopefully you don't need to use those lifeboats. You see those stairs that we almost went down when we concluded the tour of the secret deck on 6. And because this is the last time we can do so, let's do one last forward-facing view as we sail south towards the Mexican Riviera. You can see up close that crew section below. So let's continue around the lanai now on the port side of the ship. Now that we're on the sunny side, let's do one more peek over the rail down to the water below. Those ocean sights and sounds are some of my favorite parts of cruising, but since this is a Firenze ship tour, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. When are you sailing on the Firenze and what are you most excited about? Be sure to leave a message because we love when our comment section turns into a place where the future passengers for that ship can all get excited about their upcoming sailings. Next, I want to show you these hedge circle cutout areas. Both sides of the ship have a few of these spaces. Even though we were in a rush, we thought we could pull off this really cool camera shot.
Welcome to the Nog Vlog.
Maybe didn't quite turn out like we wanted it to, but nonetheless, we had fun filming and taking photos in this area, and it definitely lends for some great photo ops or just simply a great relaxing area in general. So we're adjacent to the Bonsai Teppanyaki restaurant. Now there's no outdoor seating for that because obviously they cook right in front of you. Imagine most of the space is used by the steakhouse, whether it's just for sitting and enjoying the outside air with cocktails maybe before your reservation. All probably just depends on how busy they are and what the weather is like outside. We'll take a look in one of these little outcroppings that they have throughout the lanai as well, so you can get the impression of how far it juts out past the side of the ship. There's that entrance into the steakhouse. Right after that, the lanai has a unique little lounging space available for anyone to use. And beyond that, we've got a cute little 360-degree bench. We'll bypass all the outdoor seating for Il Viaggio, followed by some more tables and chairs that are tied to the Tuscan Lounge, and then meet our terminus for the lanai here at the portside Terrazza Lanai access door. I wasn't kidding when I said Deck 5 was big, but we're finally done with it, so let's head down to Deck 4. Departing from those forward elevators, we'll loop around and take a look one more time inside the theater. Navigation down here on Deck 4 should probably look very familiar to that of Deck 5 above. However, through those doors, instead of the lanai, is crew-only area. It's actually where the lifeboats are. Since this is the primary level of attendance for things here in the theater, we can talk about what all takes place here. Naturally, all your playlist productions are going to be hosted here. We'll have the larger comedy showcases in here. We also have the cruise director and his or her fun squad lead interactive games like Bingo, Deal or No Deal, Love and Marriage Show, as well as other informative presentations here in the theater. I said it when we were on Deck 5, but I'll say it again as we take a look here. This is probably the most beautiful theater I've seen on any cruise ship that I've been on. The seats were comfy, they've got cup holders, which is a plus, and that means they've got drink service. And on top of that, they have their own dedicated bar in the back. You see stairs that take you up to Deck 5 in case coming down here on Deck 4, you or your party can't find open seats. We'll exit the theater and head towards that atrium, encountering yet even more fun shops. This time we've got portside. This is going to be your liquor and tobacco store. You may recall I mentioned when the ship is out at sea, all the shops will open and everything you purchase will be duty and tax free. That's the same for the products here in this store. However, know that your liquor and tobacco can't be consumed here on the ship. Whatever you do purchase will be delivered to your stateroom the night before you return to your home port. Next up, we have the Carnival store. Here you can purchase any Carnival or Firenze branded souvenirs that you might want to take home with you. Our sailing was during what was considered the inaugural season, so I can't guarantee that those items are still available in the Carnival store for upcoming sailings. As we continue around, the next shop will be familiar to those that have sailed on Carnival before. It's going to be the Cherry on Top candy store. In addition to tons and tons of candy either by the pound or prepackaged, they have a small selection of gifts, flowers, gift cards, in case there's something extra special you want to celebrate on your cruise. Next door to that is the Carnival Adventure store. This shop specializes in items that you might use while in port. So maybe you need some snorkeling gear, or a bag, maybe a tumbler, or just sunscreen or bug spray. I definitely want to point out these stairs that take you down to 3 below. There's a good chance in the evening the Pixel photography team will actually rope this off and use these stairs for a photo opportunity. Speaking of photography, just around the corner here is the Dreams Studio. Here you get paired with a photographer that will give you an exclusive custom photo shoot on the ship or even in port. Then they'll sit down with you to do custom edits to ultimately create a finished storybook unique for whatever occasion you're celebrating. We'll step out on this glass stairway. While the Pixel photographers don't use this stairway, both these and the one I mentioned earlier are both quite often used by passengers with their phones to take their own photos. Now that's no problem at all, but it can lead to some traffic jams every now and then, so just keep that in mind. I mentioned ducks way back up in the arcade. One place we kept finding ducks was right here at the top of these columns. So if you're a cruise duck hunter, keep your eyes peeled for those. Next up, we'll be entering the Firenze Casino. Now, as we are in port, the casino is closed, so it's easy for me to walk around and show you everything that this has to offer. Of course, you've got your penny all the way up to high limit slots, table games like 6 to 5 blackjack with a $6 minimum, 3 to 2 blackjack with a $25 minimum, 3 card prime, let it ride, roulette, and craps. Now here on the Firenze, conveniently located just past the casino, is a non-smoking casino. And they've got table games set up here, including roulette. While I've been on a few Carnival ships with a separate non-smoking casino, I've yet to see this amount of table games available within it. All that's missing is a craps table for us non-smokers, but hey, this is progress. Speaking of craps, it's a $10 minimum with just 2x max odds behind the line. Around this corner, you'll find quick access to the midship elevators and stairs. You can visit a casino host in case you want to try to accrue enough points to earn you benefits like discounted or even free cruises or drinks on Carnival here in the casino or even across the ship. We'll turn around, we'll cross over the walkway and head to the starboard side of the casino. Heading more forward, you'll find the cashier cage. Be sure if it's your last night of your cruise, don't wait till the last minute to cash out those casino chips. You're going to find a long line here, and that's never a fun thing to have to wait on in your very last evening of your cruise. Smoking is only available if you are at a machine or at a table and playing. You're not allowed to just lounge around the casino or stand by someone else that is playing and smoke. They have a couple of novelty cash grab games, but you're definitely going to need Lady Luck to win those. There is no coin pusher machine for anybody interested in that. Down this corridor, you'll have some restrooms, the midship elevators and stairs, and that non-smoking casino. And as we head further aft here on deck 4, the next thing we'll encounter is the Heroes Tribute Bar. Now you can call this a sports bar, but it's definitely something a little bit more special than that, with its theming and wall adornments providing recognition of the sacrifice that military members and their families, past and present, make for our freedom. Pro tip, get yourself a beer in one of their souvenir glasses, and part of the proceeds go to Operation Homefront, a program that helps provide rent-free housing for the families of wounded military members. And again, if you're a big sports fan and can't miss that big game while you're on vacation, the screens in this lounge will always have sports turned on. The next part of this hallway is where you'll find the art gallery. Now, all throughout the ship in different venues, they'll actually move this artwork and have art auctions in case you want to take some of these original pieces home with you. But if you want to preview them all before those auctions, you can stroll through the gallery down here on deck 4. Next up, we'll enter another large multi-purpose lounge. This is called the Limelight Lounge. Right when you enter, you see the Jester statue. So of course, this is the Punchliner Comedy Club in the evenings. Be sure to arrive with plenty of time to find seating, or else you're going to be shoved up here against the back. In the late evenings, they'll clear out the chairs and they'll bring in a DJ, and this will turn into a nightclub. When they don't have comedy shows, this will also host things like karaoke. And if your cruise director is cool enough, they might just have the adult game show Quest down here. And if your cruise director is not cool enough, you'll have just the standard adult game night. What is Quest? First rule of Quest is you can't talk about Quest. You have to hope that it's on your sailing and find out for yourself. And even during the day, they'll bring the kiddos in and use this space for Build-A-Bear program. Now, obviously not for Build-A-Bear, but for all those grown-up activities in the evening, there's not a dedicated bar in this lounge, but there is drink service. So they'll have waiters walking around taking drink orders and bringing those to you. So at the turn of the corner here, you'll see a sign for the conference room. That's used for crew-only meetings. Might be some private guest functions that actually take place there. I imagine its location being adjacent to the main dining rooms that we're about to tour allows anything taking place in there to be catered if it needs to be. As we make the turn, we'll find the midship elevators and stairs. There's restrooms on either side as well. And that leads us to the Michelangelo restaurant. The Michelangelo main dining room will be for guests that have chosen your time open seating dining. That means you can check in on your Hub app for a table anytime between 5:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. Based off your party size and availability, they'll let you know how long of a wait you can expect. Typically, you wouldn't be seated at the same table each night in this experience, but you can try to put in for that request. This might mean it may take longer for your table to be ready. Now, the Michelangelo restaurant encompasses decks 3 and 4 here in the aft of the ship. For guests that have chosen the set time dining for either the early or late dinner options, that's going to take place down in the Medici restaurant, down on deck 3 in the midship, so we'll see that shortly. The Michelangelo restaurant is used throughout the day as well for port day breakfasts, sea day brunches, and tea time, which you'll find hosted here on sea day afternoons. And keeping up with that Italian theme across the ship, you'll find in the menus at both main dining rooms special Italian dishes that are infused in the normal Carnival main dining room menus, including some familiar dishes from Carnival's specialty restaurant found on other ships, Cucina del Capitano. These beautiful chandeliers and this gorgeous faux marble definitely elevate the atmosphere in here, but I've purposely saved the decor centerpiece for last to show you. That is going to be a room-sized replica of Michelangelo's statue of David. Fun fact, this statue was not originally on the Costa Firenze before its transition over to Carnival. The statue actually used to be on board and came from the Carnival Pride. So you may have noticed we actually stepped down to deck 3. We're going to break the golden rule. We're not going to start in the forward part of the ship just because we were already back here in the aft for the Michelangelo restaurant. And for deck 3, that's actually all that's back here. I mentioned just a few minutes ago that the other main dining room, the Medici restaurant, is located in the midship of Deck 3. A common design for most ships is they put the galley where they prepare all the food in between both of those restaurants. And speaking of, if you're dining at the chef's table for that one-of-a-kind culinary experience dinner, that'll be in the galley here in the aft of Deck 3. So if you're trying to get to Michelangelo here on the aft of Deck 3, the only way you're going to be able to access it is to come down from Deck 4 or up from Deck 2 via these aft elevators or stairs. So now we're going to head back on schedule. We're going to start the last bit of our ship tour on Deck 3 at the forward elevator bank and stairwell. Quick preview behind us shows the bar from the atrium, but we are going to head forward here on the starboard side of the ship. There's actually staterooms all around here, but tucked in this corner is going to be the Circle C Kids Club. This is going to be for kids ages 12, 13, and 14. They'll be able to check in or out here, hang out with their peers, socialize, play board games, video games, watch movies. They have a jukebox so they can have dances, karaoke, tons of stuff to keep them entertained and out of parents' hair during the day and or in the evenings. Let's go ahead and exit Circle C. We'll make our way around the forward staircase. We'll pass up some restrooms. And here on the port side, abutting Circle C, you'll find Club O2. So ages 15, 16, and 17 have access to this space. Very similar setup to Circle C, but appropriately adjusted for these age groups. Video game consoles for both Circle C and Club O2 were PS5s, in case any of your teenagers that are sailing with you are curious about that. If you're new to cruising, have kids that span multiple club age levels, and are wondering if they can either go up or go down to be with their sibling, the answer is unfortunately no, but if you think about it, it needs to be that way just to maintain that integrity of those peer group structures for all those underage guests aboard. So earlier up on Deck 5, we saw the Carnival Adventures store. Here is the Carnival Adventures desk. The folks here can help you book an excursion for one of the ports on your itinerary, or they can assist you if you just have a question on something you've already booked. So we finally officially made it down to the Piazza del Duomo. What the Lido area is to the top of the ship, that's what this atrium area is down below. There's always something going on here in the evenings, and anchored by the beautiful center atrium bar and the ample seating that surrounds it, it serves as a great meeting point for large parties, either going to or from dinner or a show. This is actually where you'll board the ship, so it's so beautiful when you first walk in, but it's a little bittersweet because it's also the last thing you see once your cruise is over. Let's go ahead and go into that Medici restaurant and take a tour. As I mentioned earlier, passengers that choose to have the set time dining, so either 6 p.m. or 8:15 p.m., they'll be able to use this restaurant, have the same table each night, have the same wait staff each night. You have the ability to visit the maitre d' in the afternoon before sail away on embarkation day to view where your table is and possibly be able to be moved to a more preferred table. Now, they might not be able to honor your exact request, but they'll do their best, and there's no harm in asking. You can see the decor in this restaurant's a little bit different than Michelangelo, focusing a little bit more on paintings, but nonetheless just as beautiful. As we head back out and take a look at the atrium, these stairs were the ones that I was referencing that will often be blocked off for photo opportunities in the evening. Through these doors here is where you'll enter and exit at the beginning and end of your cruise, and just past that is going to be your guest services desk. Guest services is open 24 hours a day, ready to provide any information or answer questions from passengers. Keep in mind there is another self-service kiosk down here in case you're just doing something minor like checking your onboard balance. Decks 2 and 1 below us are all staterooms. So with that, we are done with our ship tour of the Carnival Firenze. Now, if you've got an upcoming sailing on this ship, you are now fully prepared to know exactly where to go and maximize your cruise. However, if you're sailing out of Long Beach but haven't booked the Firenze just yet, perhaps you want to consider the Carnival Radiance instead. You can click this video here to watch our full ship tour of the Carnival Radiance, compare that to the Firenze, and ultimately make the best decision for you and your cruise mates. If you found value out of this video, please do hit that like button. It really helps our channel out. We greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, thanks for watching the Nog Vlog, where you're always welcome to come take a trip with us.